Hello, this is Jake, and thanks for listening to our 712 World Language Implementation Plan and Purchase Report. We will be at our DCAC meeting coming up on May 20th, and we will have more time to talk and connect with you around questions, comments, and feedback that you might have about our report coming up on that evening. Our slides include the membership of our committee, a graphic that provides an overview of our curriculum review cycle, a summary of our work in the program evaluation phase and the program design phase, and our recommendations moving forward from our program implementation plan and purchase phase. This is a list of the full team that served on our curriculum review this year. A great thing about the World Language Department is that it is small enough in terms of the number of staff members in the whole department that we could meet and do our planning and curriculum review with all of the teachers represented. Not all of our departments at Roseville Area Schools have that luxury. This slide provides an overview of our program review cycle at a glance. The three cycles of the program review cycle are the evaluation phase, including what are we doing and how is it working, the design phase, what do we want it to look like, and then our plan and purchase phase. As the arrow indicates, we're finishing up in World Language the plan and purchase phase, and we have purchase recommendations for our World Language resources needed for our program. Next up, we'll give you a quick summary of our program evaluation phase. As a reminder, World Language was significantly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The curriculum review started in the fall of 2019, but was put on hold from February of 2020 until the spring of 2022. Even with these disruptions, we were able to get back on track. In our evaluation phase, a major area of improvement was the misalignment of our program. Since our last review was in 2010, and with the impact of the pandemic, our Spanish curriculum was different in the different schools that had Spanish courses, including RAMS, Parkview, and Roz. We also saw the data of enrollment declines after students complete 2 years of World Language. Some of that comes from the common belief that students only need 2 years of a world language for college entrance. However, we know that only 2 years of a language leaves students with an insufficient level of learning, and we're working to make changes about that narrative and only needing World Language for 2 years, as well as working on some of our engagement strategies, especially in the first 2 years of language courses, with more focus on teaching students using comprehensible input, a strategy that provides more authentic language learning experiences through text, stories, gestures, and relates to the brain science on how humans learn language. We also find that many of our BIPOC students are underrepresented in our upper level courses, which brought us concern as well. We hope that through our more engaging instructional strategies, discussions with our AVID teachers, and changing the narrative around the myth that students should only take 2 years of a language will help improve. We continue to want to add an additional language to the 2 that we already have in the district, but know that we need to establish the dual language Spanish immersion program prior to introducing a new language. Next up, we'll do a summary of our program design phase. Our focus in phase 2 was around establishing our purpose statement and learning goals, learning and receiving professional development around comprehensible input strategies, and providing more alignment in our programs from levels 1 through 5. We used the ACTFL standards and AP standards to articulate the priority standards from our level 5 language classes down to level 1, providing us with a more unified and aligned curriculum focus for each of our sites and courses that provide common world language courses. We also developed the criteria for our materials and resources review that we used in the implementation plan and purchase phase. We also had discussions about the role of the World Language Department in the dual language Spanish immersion program, finding that we should be established as 2 separate departments, even though we have some shared staffing and resources. And finally, we'll move into our phase 3, our program implementation plan and purchase summary. This slide provides the language that we established for our purpose statement. We are proud of our department and what we do, and it shows through our statement. The last sentence in our statement summarizes our world language work the best. Through a challenging, authentic, and communicative curriculum, our students are equipped to utilize their linguistic skills and diverse cultural understandings to create a more inclusive and equitable world, something we truly believe. We used our purpose statement and the learning goals on the upcoming slide to have another lens when reviewing our curriculum resources and materials. Here are the established world language learning goals. These are taken from ACTFL, which is our national organization for world language, which establishes language learning standards since there aren't established Minnesota state standards for world language. We started by reviewing 4 language curriculum programs, many that were well known, but we weren't finding one that provided for the needs that we had, which were to include comprehensible input as a learning strategy, provide for multiple perspectives and cultural representations of many people, and provide us with more alignment and resources so we weren't having to find our own resources through internet searches, Facebook world language teacher groups, or Teachers Pay Teachers. After none of the 4 really struck as strong resource choices that matched our needs, we actually found a newer company that we met with, Linko, that matched many of our requirements very well and provided us with flexibility in resources. We used a few different resources to also help us evaluate our world language instructional materials and landed on the instructional materials selection criteria that we found from the Delaware Department of Education and also using our purpose statement. However, in actual use, we found that the criteria was a bit cumbersome, but it did give us a strong framework to help us make decisions and frame up our discussions. We also know that we're going to need some supplemental material purchases along with our main resource choice. Our recommendation through our work in the implementation plan and purchase phase is to adopt the Linko program for levels 1 through 5 in French and for levels 1 through 4 in Spanish. For Spanish 5, we'll continue to use our AP text that we have been using from Vista Higher Learning. However, we will be updating to the newest edition. With these program purchases, we'll also need additional resources, which include headphones with microphones for students to use to record themselves speaking, as well as for listening assignments in class. And we're also recommending the purchase of supplemental readers to assist in our comprehensible input instruction. Lastly, we are also recommending purchases of cultural videos and current events in our target languages. We also created a 5-year implementation plan for us to use in evaluating our implementation and the goals that we set out to achieve through our review. There is much focus on alignment, learning our new resources, and increased enrollment in our courses, with an emphasis on increasing the racial diversity of our upper level courses. We also included a timeline for the possibility of bringing in another language. Some of our next steps include getting us up to speed with professional development around our resource and curriculum purchase. One of the best parts of our choice in Linko is that they meet with us to develop our units of study based on our focus areas and priority standards that we developed in our curriculum review. Linko also provides professional development to help us learn how to use the program, resources, and support us in this adoption. We will be transitioning to the Linko program next year, and our Office of Educational Equity will be working on the next steps of ordering, scheduling professional development, and partnering with our technology department to integrate our new program with Schoology. Lastly, we will be sharing with our families in the fall about our new program as students start their year in our world language courses. We look forward to meeting with you on May 20th at our DCAC meeting for any questions, comments, and feedback that you may have. Thanks for viewing. Bye-bye.